Good morning everyone. So today we shall be starting the third chapter of the syllabus and the name is India's External Relation. So if you see this name, India's External Relation, this is the old name of the chapter. The new revised syllabus has been given to you, and according to that the name of the chapter will be India's Foreign Policy. So instead of external relations completely, we shall be focusing on the India's foreign policy. Okay. And in this, the topics which we have to cover is the principles of foreign policy. Second will be relations with the other nations, in which we shall be including and reading the relations with United States, Russia, China, Israel. And the third and the most important topic we shall be covering in this chapter would be India's nuclear program. So these three are the most important topics which we shall be studying under this third chapter of your part B book. And the name is India's Foreign Policy according to the new revised syllabus. Previously, the older name which you will find in your NCERT book is India External Relations. So we have to cover these three topics, and today I shall be taking the first topic, that is principles of foreign policy. What were the important principles of foreign policy when we talk about India after independence? So I have also written some important topics which have been deleted. That is page number 74, 75, 76 and 77 of your chapter India's External Relations has been deleted from this chapter. So some topics have been added and some part of this chapter has been deleted. So the topic which you had to study regarding India's relation with Pakistan and Bangladesh has been removed and deleted from this chapter basically, because if we talk about the relations with Pakistan and Bangladesh, we had already covered that topic in the chapter and in the first book, that is Contemporary South Asia. In that we have covered that topic. That is the reason we have cut down that topic here in this chapter. So we shall be studying only relations with the US, Russia, China and Israel. So let's see what is our foreign policy. So the first 2 marks question can come, or in the form of a definition it can come. What do you understand by the foreign policy? So the definition of foreign policy, you should write it down. It reflects, foreign policy reflects the interest of nation and interplay of domestic and external factors. So we can say any foreign policy of any country is the interplay of domestic and external factors. It means the internal circumstances within a country and the external factors or circumstances outside that country around the world. Both the factors, domestic and external, play an important role to derive out any foreign policy of any country. For in case we are studying about India, so if we have to derive the foreign policy of India, we will have to keep in mind what are the circumstances, economic, political, social situations within our country, what is the economic growth of our country, what is the type of industrialization we want in our country, what type of growth and development we want in our country. Accordingly, we will also see the outside circumstances and our relations with other countries, and accordingly we will frame our foreign policy. Okay, so driving out the foreign policy, in that the major important factors are the external and internal factors within a country and outside the country. So you must remember the definition. It's a very simple definition. Foreign policy reflects the interest of nation and interplay of domestic and external factors. And one word important is here, interest of nation. So foreign policy will always be in favor and in interest of any nation. So before we discuss the foreign policy, I have told you the definition of foreign policy here. So before I start what are the principles of foreign policy, I would here discuss the situation of India, that India was born in a very tiring situation. Why we are using these words? India was born in a very tiring situation. As we know, we have studied in first chapter also, our independence came along with the partition of our country, which led to division of our country, and we had to face so much of hardship just after independence. There were immediate challenges which our country had to face as an independent nation. So we had to see what were the tiring situation within India and outside India when we got independence. Because after independence we had created and established planning commission, as I told you in the last chapter, and to frame our foreign policy, what were the problems in the beginning. So just after independence we will see End of Second World War and economic reconstruction. If you see around the world, outside the country, what were the circumstances and situation and environment around the world? We got the independence in 1947, but in 1945, the Second World War had ended. So there were a lot of economic reconstructions going on. Economy were reviving. There were revival of economies in the European regions and other part of countries after the Second World War. Cold War alliance tension, and when we got the independence in 1947, this was the time period and the phase when we read about Cold War. That is after Second World War. That is 1945 to 1991. This phase is called the Cold War era. So during Cold War era, there were always pressures from US and USSR, where they wanted to merge maximum countries to their alliance. And India, as you know, they did not join the USSR alliance or US alliance. We had been an independent, and we were a part of or a founder member of non-alignment movement. Then decolonized countries emerged. In the same period when we got independence, there were many countries which were decolonized. That is, they came out from the rule of Britishers. Okay. So these are some of the external factors which were prevalent during India got independence. These were the outside environment outside India during this period. So let's now talk about internal circumstances, internal factors or domestic factors which were prevalent just after independence. And as I told you, when we frame our foreign policy, we always look into the internal and external, both the factors, and with the interplay of these factors, we derive a foreign policy of any country. But the common thing is that there is always a national interest. The most important and supreme or apex part is given to the nation's interest. British government legacy of international disputes. As we know, when Britishers went, they had various international policies with other countries as they were governing India. So when they went and they handed over all the authority and power to the Indian leadership after the freedom struggle, so all the international disputes and international policies which were going on with the Britishers, instantly Indian leaders had to face. Like we had problems with China, Pakistan and other neighboring countries. These were all the disputes put forward by the Britishers there. Okay. So, and the second most important, as you know it very well, we have completely studied it in the first chapter, partition. And because of partition, you know the circumstances and environment of our country during this time period when we are talking about 1947. And socio-economic development, because this was one of the immediate challenges where our leadership always focused that we have to eradicate poverty, we have to eradicate unemployment, we have to bring equality, social and economic equality. We have to remove gender inequality, discrimination on the basis of caste. So all these were the social economic issues which were immediately required to eradicate from our society. So these are some of the internal challenges which I am discussing here. So I hope for understanding the foreign policy, you need to require and have the understanding of internal as well as external factors which play the important role in framing any foreign policy of any country. Although the national interest plays the most important role in framing any foreign policy. Okay, so with this we have covered the introduction part or the principles of foreign policy. Now we'll take it to the further level. So now I'm going to discuss a topic, and this is an important topic, and this can come for around 2 marks or maybe for 4 marks. Aim of foreign policy. So before we discuss about what are the principles of foreign policy, I have given you the internal and external factors which play an important role in deriving out any foreign policy. Then I am discussing with you the aim of foreign policy. What was the aim and objective and purpose of the foreign policy of India? Like when we were framing our foreign policy, although internal and external circumstances and environment were important, but along with that, what was the major focus and aim of our foreign policy? I am going to discuss that, and it is a part of your syllabus. So first aim is respect sovereignty of all the nations and achieve security by peace. We have to respect the sovereignty and independence of each and every state nearby India or anywhere around the world. So we have to support the sovereignty of all the nations and achieve security by peace. And we have to maintain the security of our country from with the help of military or any diplomatic manners, but along with that promoting peace. So we need security, but not through the use of military or any arms. We have to just maintain peace through security. Okay. So you will find this article on page number 66 of your NCERT book, that is Article 51 of the Constitution. So when you will see and study the Article 51 of the Constitution, you will see that Article 51 describes that it derives related to the maintenance of international peace and security. So when you will study Article number 51 of the Constitution, you will see it derives and explains about the international security and peace. So India also always supports international security and peace, which is generally looked upon as the aim of Indian foreign policy. And this is generally looked upon as India's foreign policy to maintain security along with peace around the world, not within India but around the world. So India has been always promoting peace. Although security is the major objective of any country, any security, but along with peace. The state shall endeavor to. So when we talk about the aim of foreign policy of India, there are four important parts. See, promote international peace and security. Indian foreign policy will be framed in such a manner that it will always be promoting international security and peace. Maintain just and honorable relations between the nations. We have to maintain very good friendly relations with the other nations. We don't have to go to the extreme level where we deteriorate our relationships with the other nation. Foster respect for international law and treaty obligations. So like there is a international organization, UN. So we shall always be respecting and following the rules, laws put forward by the UN. Encourage settlement of international disputes. We shall also be taking part and encouraging the various nations around the world to settle down disputes amongst themselves. So in this way we can say India's foreign policy has always an aim to settle down various disputes and bring security and along with peace around the world, not only within India. So this is written in Article 51. So there can be a one mark question as well, that which article explains the aim of India's foreign policy. So always you shall be answering as Article 51 of the Constitution. If you want to see the detail of this, you will find this article on page number 66 of your NCERT book. Is it clear? So with this we come to the end of aim of foreign policy.